Greetings, everybody. Pilot Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to episode 35 of Starsector, which originally aired live on Twitch August 28th. How are phase ships early game? Harbingers that are player controlled can be very strong. The AI doesn't necessarily always make... You have to design your fleet for it, I'll put it that way. So they can be really strong, or they could be basically nothing. They're expensive. They're more expensive than normal ships to field, and they don't last very long in combat. They get worn down more easily. So their deployment times are shorter. With that said, they are very powerful, but only if the AI that are controlling them are not. Sometimes you'll get phase captains that are just like straight suicidal. So like one really good way to fight them is, I mean, there's a bunch of different metas to fight them. Like any ships that can phase, not phase, any ships that can, like wolves and whatnot, that can hop, can obviously dodge the mines very effectively because they can phase out and not be hit by the mines. And then you can also just completely overwhelm them with fighter spam. That's another pretty easy way to take them down, in my experience, because the AI phase ships are sort of they're sort of coded never to want to take damage, so they're always going to disengage to try to uncloak to lose flux. So if you can make it impossible for them to uncloak safely, i.e. fill the battle with so many things that move faster than them and swarm them, you can swarm them to death, which is another effective way. Whoa, that's a lot of food. Which is another effective way of dealing with them too. Oh, that's too bad. More Apogee blueprints, but I already have Apogee. Could have been nice. A third option, actually, if I had other Paragons, could just be a Paragon Death Stack. Phase ships don't have shields now. So weapons that do high hull, no shield damage, like high armor damage, is also another method. Alright, so we got everything nice and surveyed here. And now... Yeah, phase cloaks, not... Yeah, cloak ships, not phase ships, yeah. Easy to make that mistake. What? Oh, alright, let's go into the center. There we go, that's what I'm looking for, these probes. At first scan, it appears to be a utilitarian probe or an instrument platform of the sort used for commercial navigation signaling, staking mining claims, and infrared or intra-system comms relay. Closer approach reveals a crumbled mass of stealth cladding torn from the hull and drifting in near orbit. Whoever put this platform here did not want it to be found, but a small meteor swarm or perhaps light weapon fire thwarted their efforts. Radiation sensors indicate a damaged nuclear battery within. You order a team of salvagers, okay, to investigate an instrument platform, the instrument platform. Your bridge displays focuses on figures in hard suits deploying from a work drone to swarm the probe equipment, cases, and feed lines trailing. Your operations chief grumbles over the comms, enforcing strict call and response procedure in accordance with safety protocols. The salvage team soon discovers a non-standard miniaturized hypercommunication relay core at the center of the probe's signature. Your ops chief turns from the console to give you that look which says this salvage job just got a lot more interesting. Your ops chief leads you through a live compilation of the salver's investigations. A hypercom core is formed from once carefully arranged loops of dense superconducting material, now bent and punctured by small impacts. Its delicate conduits seared by radiation, the sophisticated post-collapse engineering is junked, but its presence indicates the involvement of a major power player in sector politics. On a hunch, you summon schematics of the Academy probe relays you recovered while searching for Scylla. Understanding the implication of your request, your bridge officer pull copies of their personal workstations and begin looking for analogous structures. Within minutes, they come to the conclusion that the architecture is wildly different, though the underlying principles are similar. If I were to guess, espionage got early stage specs, then this gadget was deployed in parallel. Your sensor officer says, interesting. You nod and return to the bridge display to an external view of the instrument platform. Salvers have reattached shielded equipment cases to cargo drones. Their work is complete. After the salvage team returns, the attendant cargo drone packed with recovered data cores, your technicians get to work pulling data from the damaged memory. The results are scrambled mostly. Your techs managed to find a few archives frozen in encrypted temporary memory, logistic requests for basic supplies, fuel, construction materials typical of remote outposts. Your comms officer proudly presents you with 2 mentions of the surname Astraea in the comms logs. Even better, the last target of the hypercom link, a seemingly insignificant point in hyperspace. It looks like she was in the core worlds. At the other end of these requests, your comms officer reports. This confirms the Black Project was operating in this system and Khalees Astraea was involved. And what of the destination of the Hamatsu and Astraea's current location? So we found basically where the probe is pointing to, and that leads us here. Sort of back to the core systems where I'm going to try to refuel before I get there. So let's go to magic first. I don't have a ton of fuel. We have this big fat fleet that does a whole lot of nothing to phase ships. So yeah, another way to deal with the phase ships is just to do like a death stack Paragon thing. The individual DPS from my lone Paragon wasn't enough to overwhelm the phase ships, but if I had like 3 Paragons, anything unphasing near 3 Paragons, all with like tack lances, would just get melted to nothing very, very quickly. So a whole lot of ways to counteract that, or alternatively, just avoid it, which is the choice I took, because rigging up a counter fleet just would take too long. And isn't even needed. You don't need to take it on. Yeah, another way is to Astrals would be a pretty good counter as well. Astrals are big carriers, and if you deployed Astrals can recall their bombers. So if you deployed like an Astral with a whole lot of bombers, you could just bomb. You could basically flux harass the Dooms and then bomb them the moment they come out of flux. That would work too. A whole lot of solutions. All right, let's get some fuel. What do I got here? I don't want these blueprints landing in pirate hands, so I'll sell them here on the open market, not the black market. Not that I really care if the pirates get a hold of the Apogee blueprints. It's not terrible. Oops. And now for the lily padding, trying to get enough fuel to go anywhere after this. Even buy some pirate fuel. God, trying to refuel here in the core sucks because planets don't typically have that much fuel, so I have to buy it. Black market is, yeah, selling to pirates. What system did I just accidentally go into? One with no habitable. Oh, darn it. Yeah, the black market is basically the pirate market. So there's, if you sell anything in the black market, you're selling effectively to pirates. So if you sell them blueprints, they'll use the blueprints. So if you don't, like if you, let's say, got 2 Paragon blueprints and you learned one and sold the other, the one you sold is going to be a bit of a problem if you sell it to the pirates. Because then the pirates will start rolling out Paragon pirate ships to come mess with you. So if you want that, have right at it. But if you don't want that, then don't sell it to them. Because they're basically just scavengers. They will make use of whatever you sell them. So you can definitely, you can most assuredly bomb your own save game file if you wanted to. And just sell crazy strong blueprints to pirates and make them very, very difficult to do. It's really too bad that Starsector doesn't make that more clear, because it's very easy to just be like, oh, well, I make the most money selling it on the black market, so I'm just going to sell all of my unneeded blueprints to the black market, and then all of a sudden you can end up, you know, nuking your save, because that's kind of undoable. You can't undo that. Once done, it's done. Yeah, I suppose if you're going with a you are the pirate playthrough, that's fine. But that's not that common. Most people don't play as the pirates because it's tougher to do. Hey, they have tri-tac lances. Question. Should I commission? I have to be commissioned to buy it. And it would give me an opportunity to buy the lances and then maybe a Paragon. Let's see. Nope, but I could buy an Astral. Put a timer on that. It's too bad I don't have the blueprints for those. I don't think I need any of these blueprints. Nope. Alright, looks like I'm going to commission real quick. So it's not like I'm not going to be stuck doing this permanently. But, let's see. Give me those. And give me that. Buy an Astral outright. Look, it ain't nothing. Just to have it. I don't think I'm going to field it in my normal lineup. But let me refit this guy. So another way to build is to go, instead of auto pulse, to go tack lances. Dual tack lances on the front and sides. And then the weapon group all the tack lances together. Like that. So, another concept. Instead of, let's see. Accelerated and front. I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna try this loadout here. Yeah, I'm over my ship cap. Good call. I will sell you. Bye-bye. Here, let me just slice an onslaught up. So now this is the quad tack lances. If I do the quad tack lances, I can get rid of the extended magazines that I have installed. Because obviously I don't need extended magazines if I don't have auto pulse. Yep. So that would be the 4 tack lance design. Let's stick with that for a bit and see how that plays out, because we commissioned for it. Let's get rid of extended magazines, because I don't have magazine anymore. And let me run one more simulation. I'm curious if I really feel... Yeah, the accelerated shields is kind of nice. I'm going to stick with them. But I still want the... Oh, I don't have hardened shields? Oh, no, they're built in. Okay, yeah. Perfect. I was like, wait, I'm missing something big. Alright, fleet. I do have this Astral to name, so let me queue up this giveaway. Put up the raffle timer. There it is. And let's get over to the strange spot in the middle of nowhere. Definitely saving first, though. Oops. So here it is. You need a transverse jump into it. Here we go. So here's the Venture. The lifeless Hamatsu drifts before your fleet. Its broken body sectioned into your bridge display by a variety of sensors. Your tactical officer brings your attention to an unusual distribution of burn patches, as if the Hamatsu was struck by exotic energy weapons from multiple angles all at once. The initial salvage team's sweep finds what's left of Khalees Estrella, identified through a biometric data in her Tritachyon personnel record. She is quite deceased. A large cache of credits is found in her quarters in a shielded case. Large cache, 50k, large. Sure. The holds of the Hamatsu are packed with supplies and fuel. Much of it is recoverable. So, much. The law of salvage rules even here. You recall that Callisto Ibrahim mentioned an affinity for the Hamatsu. If you return this leaky tomb of a hull to her, you could expect a reward. The ship captain sometimes gets funny ideas about their first real command, but if Ibrahim is willing to pay. Okay, let's recover it. And I'm going to go to fleet, and I'm going to scuttle one ship because I'd be over capacity. Save. So, what is this demodded with? Degraded life support. Well, it looks pretty burned up to me. But that's not why I'm here. See this little thing? This is the Ziggy, and this is the alpha site. Ziggy. I want to go to the alpha site. Alright. Don't worry, I'll do the other part. A disposable navigation satellite set to a decaying orbit identifies the radiation-ravaged rock below as alpha site. A scan of the surface reveals an extensive research facility spilling out of a mid-sized crater. The shield array apparently failed spectacularly some time ago, leaving the ruins awash with heavy radiation. Any material salvage operation would be unprofitable. However, you might be able to send a salvage team down for a short period to see if any intel can be found about the purpose of the facility. Someone clearly put a lot of resources towards building it in the most inhospitable environment, far from prying eyes. Someone with something valuable to hide. Alright, I'll do that after I do the Ziggy fight. The Ziggy Zigzag. The Capital class construct appears to be a phase ship due to presenting features common to the type, though its design is otherwise exotic. There also appears to be a small, bright EM sources, only partially overlapping the visual spectrum. Your sensor officer reports. They periodically appear and dissipate in a volume encompassing the mysterious ship. Your bridge crew murmurs speculation between their stations. A new form of shielding? Microsat thruster bursts? Your sensor officer shakes their head. You order a high-resolution scan performed and the raw data placed into secure storage. Your attention strays as the impression of something not unlike distant music insinuates itself into your consciousness, as if a chorus was singing at some great distance, their voices brought to you by a chance gust of wind. When you attempt to focus on the music, the impression slips away. You become suddenly aware that your bridge crew is staring expectantly, waiting for your next command. The opposing ship maneuvers to prevent you from disengaging easily. Oh, yes. So the Astro now has a name. Not that I can get to it right now. So yeah, let's engage. I ain't messing around here. Actually. Let's drop one. And here is the Ziggurat. Oh, I got it with Attack Lance. Uh-oh, and its little angry balls of fury. No! Bye-bye, Apogee. Rest in peace, little Apogee. Oh, I'm burned out. It's, these little phase balls do a number on your engines. But, like I said, you can swarm phase ships to death. And that is basically what I'm doing here. And the Zig is taken down. Consider ship recovery. Alright, a final terrific explosion blanks the external visual pickups. A few seconds later, backups are extruded through the hull. Your sensor officer reports in a hushed voice that no escape pods were detected leaving the ship at any point. Your fleet approaches the derelict ship. The broken phase vessel, now quite dormant, is drifting through space. Your salvage team docks shuttles at various entry points along the vessel's massive hull. After a few tense minutes, reports start coming in. The vessel is heavily damaged, and though of exotic design, it is theoretically recoverable. Your operations chief reports that all of the fancy hull features, it is clear that the ship requires a crew to operate. But there are no traces of a crew, not even a single body caught in the battle damage, and the escape pods are all in their berths. The operation proceeds with telemetry feeds, officer reports, and authorization orders flowing around you through the bridge of your flagship. You catch yourself listening for the unheard music in a quiet moment and shake your head just as the comms officer from your chief engineer appears, bringing you back from your reverie. You accept as a matter of course. Ma'am. I'm female, by the way. Yeah, okay. If I understand half of these systems, the ship is truly one of a kind. Your chief engineer speaks in a genuine excitement. I found a device that appears to generate and control. I'm not sure that either is the right word, really. These swarming motes, the EM anomalies. The device appears to have two stages. The first, as I've described, and what appears to the later edition, which is unfortunately damaged beyond repair. Judging by the complexity of the components and bizarre discharge pattern, this is the work of a team of specialists doing bleeding edge work. It's amazing. A device like this, it's simply unheard of nowadays. Except your engineer looks abashed suddenly. Rumors, people talk. The chief engineer clears his throat, then continues. I think I can get the main part of the device working again, though I can't claim to understand why it works, not at all. The ship itself will be fit to fly too. If we do the usual repairs, we should proceed with recovery? Yes, I will recover it. The Xenophorica is now part of my fleet. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and scuttle another Tempest to make room for it. I'm gonna raffle this one off. It has a unique name, and I'm gonna keep its name, but this one is the RR Ciceronepocket. Your name is so long, I have no idea what your name is. And I'm not going to raffle off the Hamatsu either. So here's the ship. It has two large energy hardpoints. It has these small synergy turrets, which is very, very strange. Synergy is, unique to it. And then multiple universal turrets. I'm not going to set this up just yet. But here it is in all of its Xenophorica glory. One heck of a ship. I'll just demo it real quick. And then its special ability is what is called a mote attractor. Oh god, I should have probably repaired it first. Where I can send the motes to go slam suicidally, as you can tell. And the motes disrupt the ship's systems. Like it did for me. Flame me out with my shields up and all. Alright. That's done. Did the standard salvage. And now let's get back to Hybersil or something. Actually, we have somewhere to go. I need to go back to the academy, but I'm going to go to Hybersil first, just for gas. Although they probably don't have a lot of gas because I bought it all. And they haven't gotten much. No, they have some gas. Okay. So if we check out the refits here, we can. I'm gonna just put auto pulse lasers in for now, and then just regular pulse lasers. This is not how it's gonna be built eventually. I'm just throwing crap in there to have it. That's how it's set up. I'm not designing it well either. I want to make clear. But that's good enough for now. Oh yeah, I forgot to return back to the planet. Good call. Well, I'm going to get a little bit more fuel. I wanted to do the fight, but yeah, I'm going to get a little bit more fuel and head back to Alpha Site. I forgot I did the meta order. Too excited with this big old Ziggurat. So all that fuel I just bought, let's go burn it again. Now, one of the weird things about this, now that it has been spoiled to you, is this this jump point here, I don't think you need the mission for it. It exists, like, in the core systems, and it's always there, so you can do this. I think you can take this out way before you're ever offered the mission, because Alpha Site doesn't need to be sequentially done or anything. Alright, so I already read this. Sending a salvage team. After extensive preparation, a volunteer salvage team is sent down to the heavily shielded shuttle. They land near what appears to be the main entrance to the facility and reports ingress to the facility without difficulty. On a display projected onto your flagship bridge, you watch as the hard-suited salver brushes past the clouded over sensor unit of a defensive turret. It collapses into itself at a mere touch. Anything exposed to the merciless sky is slowly crumbling on chemical level. It appears that all groundside security systems have been destroyed by radiation. The interior of the facility has been breached, leaving it unpressurized. While the structure's bulk provides some protection, the delicate computer systems are fried beyond repair. No data is recoverable. With no chance of an easy find, the team spreads out the remaining rad-safe duration to document the facility and to see if there's anything useful that can be inferred from the ruin. While exploring, one salver enters a quarter of high-ranking member of the facility staff to discover a journal, a physical book bound in natural materials, and of its presumably deceased occupant. You examine the journal in the quarantine bay. The fine leather cover is discolored, but you can make out the embossed gold leaf Tritachyon logo. Your salvage team has already scanned the text without opening the delicate pages of the book. The data has been placed in a secure cache for your review. Scrolling the virtual pages, you find that the journal appears to hold the private thoughts of a chief technology officer of this facility. It begins with vague complaints of being ordered to disregard safety protocols during tests and frustration with the demands made by Kalisa Straya. From what you understand, this is an effort to establish a hard copy trail in case of the blame shifting and record altering which is common for high-ranking Tritachyon executives involved in failed projects. Concerns about going outside feature prominently in entries. Understandable given the surface conditions, but with the increasingly intense obsessiveness of the writing seems to reflect a growing phobia on the part of the author. The remainder of the journal is difficult to read. Most of the pages are torn or defaced, leaving a patchy, noisy scan in your display. Little of what's readable is coherent. At the very end, there's one line written in a clear, strong hand. They sing to me, everything will be alright. Yep, that seems normal. Okay. I can't survey here? Yeah, no, apparently I can't. Alright, let's go back to the academy, and I'm going to ask you, again, what should my priority be? Am I doing more of the main mission, or am I going to do something else? So that is at the top of the screen, and you just vote by typing 1 through 4. Oh, I should save. Thank you, Autosave. So here's the academy. Captain, I'm very pleased that you've returned with this valuable data. And she pulls up the schematic of the Ziggurat class prototype, this fascinating prototype. The manta ray design spins slowly between you and the Provost. She seems to be rubbing her 2 fingers together, contemplating the thing before her. The starship itself is irrelevant. You may keep it. Well, that's unexpected. Baird continues. It is an anomalous device within that interests me. And, of course, these modes that it appears to create. We've taken thorough scans and will be able to create an experimental variation before long. Corus has been reviewing sensor data. Let me have her explain. The Provost taps her desk console, and the comms display spits out a display of Scylla. Provost, yes? Oh, Captain Rhadamant, of course. You just arrived. Scylla seems flustered. I was discussing the scientific value of the find with a captain here, says Baird. We have just arrived at the topic of the anomalous motes. A certain subsystem of the Ziggurat display is highlighted, and an approximation of these strange dancing lights appears surround the display. From our preliminary analysis, it does not appear to be a weapon system exactly. I mean, Scylla looks down, manipulating the Ziggurat display via datapad. She focuses on the two-stage anomalous device, which scales to fill the shared display. It has been weaponized, but I don't think this is a weapon. It's, she considers her words, unfocused, general purpose. You see the elements of the hyperdrive core technology. A section flashes at Scylla's touch, as well as something resembling an Atherton coil. P-space induction, right? Another portion flashes, if you squint, maybe. Is that a phase coil? Yes and no. Let me back up, Scylla says, rubbing her eyes. It's as though the Tritachyon team stumbled upon some kind of breakthrough in we don't exactly know what, and someone told them to turn it into a weapon system. Analysis that implications of what we're detecting, I mean, with the instruments we have, we'll be able to construct new ones. What we're seeing is unprecedented in terms of state-of-the-art domain era technology. Scylla looks away, thinking for just a moment. Publicly acknowledged technology, anyway. She turns back to the display, summoning a recording through the mote swarm. And the apparent flocking behavior, though that word implies volition, which we're not even sure it is. Baird raises a hand to stop the words tumbling from Scylla. That's enough. I understand, Scylla. Your team has a lot of work to do, and we shall ask Gargoyle to trace the information exchange Kalachor made with the Tritachyon-specific applications within Project Ziggurat. Scylla nods. Well, I'll get back to it. She then closes down the display of the Ziggurat device and looks to you. This is incredible, Captain. Thank you for this opportunity. She signs off. Despite her inexperience, she's performing well under pressure, Baird observes with a note of pride. Our hardware team is struggling to follow her pace. There will be more for you to do before long, Captain, she says. She smiles, looking uncharacteristically satisfied, and closes the comm link. Alright, let me save, and warring with other factions is barely winning. I'm going to put up a timer here. I'm going to do some gas shopping. I'm going to buy some fuel while you finish up this poll. Buddy. Yoda. There you go. And treats for the pups. Dennis and Nochin. Thank you for the follows. Well, Nochin, it was a long time for you, actually. Long time ago. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you for the follows anyway. Am I hostile with the hegemon? Yeah, I am. I'm not going to be able to buy fuel there. That's kind of the problem is, the hedge won't sell me fuel, and they make up a significant portion of the core. So if I'm at war with the hedge, buying fuel in the core kind of sucks. Low-key sucks. Oh, don't you? What? Really? You're a mercantile convoy. What? You have no right to even... Excuse me? Rude. So rude. So I'm just hopping around to buy some fuel, but we'll be deciding what to do with the remainder of my time in just a second. You know what I should do? How many units? Best places to buy Madraria and Tile. Oh, Syndria. I can go to Syndria. They might have some fuel for me. I am conscripted with Tritac still, yes. I know. Oh, 59 fuel? Come on. This wasn't even worth the trip. What a rip, you guys. God. Alright, let's see if the Persean League will send me some. Where's Syndria? Here it is. Am I hostile with Syndria? Oh, a little bit. They're suspicious of me. Pathers are bothering my worlds again. Alright, we are going to continue the main campaign. Cool. I'll get right to that in just a second. I'm just going to pick up some fuel here. Actually, let me see if they're going to sell me any blueprints too. I don't usually check that. You know, what noises are you making? You're just making some weird noises. If I wanted to, I'm not that I need money, but buying and selling of lobsters is pretty good here too. You can sell them to places where the demand is high. It's easy money if you're new. Or just kill people. Ooh, that was a lot of fuel. Anything fun on your black market? No. This is their main... Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Wow, they're selling on the black market. How do the pirates have a conquest? What? What? I don't need another tanker, I don't think. Alright, there's one more planet to buy fuel from. Buy it now? I don't need it. I've already have too many big ships in my fleet. I also can go back to, no, go away, Picket. Go pick someone's nose, don't pick at my ship. I can also go back to, oh, what's her name, to return the ship. So, current missions. Let's see. Return the Hamatsu to Callisto. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go to the academy and pick up the additional stuff. Yeah, it was only lore back at the Alpha site. A journal about a chief officer fighting with Estrella, basically. Alright, so if I want to return this, I need to go to Agreus. So let me go back to Agreus and return her ship back to her. That got tore up by the Ziggurat, clearly. And then we'll pick up additional main campaign missions. Getting close on that main campaign, getting real close. And let me detour. Always buy fuel. Always buy fuel. The woes of having a mega fleet. I also have like 3 other ships that I would not normally have. I have 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna keep the Xenoforca, or whatever it's called. Ah, dwarf. To mess around with it and to undemod it, because it's going to be better if I undemod it. But the Astro at least has to go home. Oops. All right. Give me 100,000 credits, sure. The ship literally means nothing to me. It's not worth at all. Yeah, you just realize this is Bannerlord in space? It is, indeed, Bannerlord in space, with a lot fewer bugs and frustrations. For a game that is still in development, this it is surprisingly bug-free. Okay, here's the academy. Oh, Alvis wants to talk. Alvis appears, looking anxious. So, all right, let me back up a little bit. Yeah, looking anxious, which is not usual. He always is anxious. What are you kidding me? He's such a shifty little fellow. Captain Rhadamant, whoever I just spoke with, well, there's something to be said for common courtesy, and oh, I should say hello. I hope you are all well. Or you are well. Before you can answer, he continues, I apologize, but Baird wants to meet with you, and it's important. That is to say, this pertains to your previous involvement in a study at the Academy. He pauses for a moment to let this sink in. So please do meet me with the Provost at your earliest convenience. Thank you, Captain. Well, I came here to talk to her, so. The stark white halls of the Academy station crawl past you, slow, magisterial rotation. The ivory tower looms before you. Your request to the docking queue is approved. Your comms officer helpfully mutes the chirpy automated vid feed, presenting a polarized history of the Academy and its role in providing education and research to the Persian sector while remaining above political influence. The landing promenade is filled with modest civilian transports, a few high-end personal craft, and at the far end, a row of freighters offloading supplies. A junior Academy agent greets you in a landing lounge with promotional paraphernalia in hand. The agent smiles brightly. Have you given some thought to setting up that scholarship fund with the Academy? Inform the agent that Provost is expecting me for a meeting. You enter the Provost's office, and thick wooden doors close softly behind you. Captain, Baird says, turning to you from her desk. Good. Sit. We have much to discuss. Going by past experience, you feel that this will be more of a lecture than a discussion. Yep, she does like to lecture. We've rebuilt the theoretical work in the Calitor archives. Academian Scylla research now supersedes those developments. The mote induction device from the Project Ziggurat hall you discovered and scanned was key, for it demonstrates truly unorthodox hyperphysics. Tritachion's use of AI has made a breakthrough, though I suspect the human element of Tritachion has only rudimentary theoretical understanding of what they've created. We're ahead of them in that respect, Captain, so it shall be we who reap the ultimate prize, however. And our hands are tied. Baird looks up, as defying some overbearing god. Thomas Calitor played Tritachion and hegemony off each other. It was a delicate balance, and he lost control. The hegemony was forced to act, then I was forced to step forward to clean up his mess. It is clear that a side has been chosen. So I have chosen the hegemony. They are a known quantity, whereas Tritachion is mercurial. And their indiscreet abuse of AI core technology, like me, I abuse it like crazy, threatens to open Pandora's box for a third time. That would be me! It's funny that the story doesn't recognize the fact that, like, I have an entire solar system colonized by AI cores, but I digress. To this end, I must assume the high hegemon Daud that the Academy has his interest in mind and that we push forward to the next breakthrough. I need you to make direct contact with the top executive of the hegemony. Presumably, we can reassert most of the terms of the agreement Provost Calitor has previously promised and subsequently failed to deliver to the High Hegemon Daud, with its Provost gritting her teeth, additional provisions and information sharing due to Calitor's squandering of that trust. Daud needs to know that there won't be any more dramatic, destructive public experiments on his watch. So go to Chico Motztalk and speak to High Hegemon. Of course not, Baird says curtly. The High Hegemon does not simply speak with people like you. Yeah, I blow him up. That's what. Besides, imagine what the Luddites would think if you went to Dowd's office saying that the Academy wants to talk to you about firing up Moloch's grand experiment again. He'd be a fool to rattle that hornet's nest of small-minded millennialists. I feel a little triggered there, but all right, whatever. What you're doing is you're going to set up diplomatic credentials from a high-placed Persian League VIP. Your cover story is that you're acting as a envoy between Yarabe faction of Kazaron and the hegemony. Get credentials from Yarabe. Talk to the hegemon. Got it. Okay. Yep. Go to Kazaron in the Thule system, Baird says. Remind Horace Yarabe of how we stand. When you meet the High Hegemon Dowd, tell him that the rewards of the Academy research will be exclusive this time. I'll provide you the documents to give. The Provost turns to you to look at the Diamond Matrix windows, or turns from you to look at the Diamond Matrix windows out of her window, out of her office. Once the High Hegemon's cooperation is settled, we can proceed to the active experiment stage. You can tell she's smiling now, as if she can't help herself. Scylla's team is putting on the finishing touches on a gate scanner. We'll need more data, but we need you to collect it. Go speak to her about this. Do whatever she requires. You understand well enough by now that it is your cue to leave. Talking to Scylla, the comms image stabilizes on Scylla in her laboratory office, surrounded by holographic projections and data tables. Oh, she says, looking up. Captain Rhadamant. Yes, Provost Baird said I'm to fill you in on the new development. She sweeps away several displays worth of work. Arcane glyphs and diagrams collapse into unobtrusive icons. First, she says, this is a prototype device. I told Provost that we were only partway through the test procedures we've been using on the Glacia Gate as a test case, but I suppose if we're going to make ongoing calibrations and updates to the firmware via hypercoms, Cruz mumbles to herself as she starts tapping out a new checklist. What exactly do you want me to do? She looks abashed. I'm not doing a very good job of this, am I? Teaching was never... Sorry, let me answer your question. Cruz takes a breath, centers herself. This prototype can interact with gate manifold itself. It may... It is my supposition that the gate network is not so much collapsed as it is folded up. It's there, but inaccessible. Maybe we'll need to test... We'll need to test certain properties, and she looks at an ancillary display, catches herself, and turns back to you. It was your scan of the moat induction device from the Ziggurat hall that opened the door. It showed us things. Her voice rises with excitement. Unimaginable things. Or she catches her enthusiasm with a skeptical look. Highly improbable within the current body of accepted theory, there are entirely new subfields of hyperspace physics out there. And so yeah, we're gonna go scan some gates, is what she's trying to say. Right, of course. We're transferring the gate scanner to your fleet now. I'll give you the rundown on operation. Scylla pulls up the new shared holo display, a wireframe depiction of a domain gate, an icon standing off about 3 diameters of the ring itself, seeming to represent your flagship. You recognize a diffuse bubble around it as the influence of a dry field. Looks simple enough. You have to be stationed fairly close to the gate, and you must ensure that there are no dry fields within the gate diameter itself. She focuses back on the display. Once you're in place, execute the pre-coded instructions. The gate will encrypt itself and send back to me. The data will encrypt itself, sent back to me when you're in range of a hypercom relay. We'll need to calibrate the hyperdimensional transfer, of course. You'll need to scan 6 different gates. We already scanned the Glacia gate, so it has to be 6 other gates. Baird said that I shouldn't talk about the next step. But seeing as how you're in the line of fire, without thinking, she glances away and then speaks quietly. We'll be calling it the Janus device. It's premature to name it, I admit. But when the hyperphysics team gets excited, She shrugs helplessly. There's no stopping them. It's just Scylla notices a blinking display. The equipment transfer is complete. Captain, you're good to go. What was you trying to say? She sighs unhappily. She looks more tired than you've ever seen. The team is eager, and I appreciate their work, but my strength is theory, not hardware applications. It's all so clumsy, and our fabrication equipment. The techs try their best, but Provost expects the world and more. And she wants to push the schedule faster, and it's too fast. I need time to refine the math and run more equipment tests, and to get to the top of the line components. Scylla stifles a yawn and gets some sleep. If Alyssa was here, it would all be so simple. Who is she? Someone I know, a friend, or anyway, her name is Alyssa Zoll. We did work together a long time ago. She's a genius with hardware, but I've made some mistakes, and Scylla trails off again, realizing she doesn't want to continue. Okay. So, yes, we scan gates. What I'm going to do before I do any of that is to drop off, to thin out my fleet just a little bit, because I have way too many ships right now, and the amount of fuel shopping I have to do is kind of absurd. So, I'm going to go back to Jotunheim and drop off the Astral, drop off a few other ships, because we're just bloated. And then what I'm going to do is... Oh, I have to do both. Okay. I also want to pick up the Harbinger again. I think I'm going to need it for this next step. Yeah, no one tell Provost Bear that I have 5 colonies run by AI. She'd probably blow a gasket. Whoa! Look at that mercantile. That was my mercantile convoy. It was loaded, man. Ooh, there we go. We are now down to only having the Xenomorph, or whatever it's called, have demods. Everything else is repaired. So, in due time, that should be all fixed up. What I will say is, maybe I should call it by its proper name. The Xenorphica? The Xenorphica, I don't particularly care for it as a capital ship. It's a very strong support phase ship. Yeah, look at this mercantile convoy. It's a beefy boy. Also, I don't know where they're flying because it doesn't seem to be whole. They seem to be going the wrong way. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Touché. Touché, sir. Let's go ahead and drop some ships off. So what are we going to drop? Drop off the Astra. I'm also going to drop off the Legion. The Legion is honestly the most expensive ship to have in service of all of the ships in the game. So, going to take the Mora and oops, too many. Some Tempests. This Tempest is built wrong. I'm going to call these the Rad Tempests. So Autofit, Rad, Autofit, Rad Tempest. Yeah, some of these Tempests were, I guess, built since. No, only one of them. And they were incorrect design. Not that big of a deal, but gotta fix it. Which ship is better? There's not one that's better than the other. They do different things. The Astral is a purely dedicated to carrier battleship. So if we take a look at the Astral here, it has, I believe, the most bays in the game. So the Legion has 4 bays. The Astral has 6. And the Astral has an ability, it's also a laser boat. And it has an ability, its ability is to recall its bombers immediately. So if you, Astrals that are controlled by the player are particularly good because you can just basically reload your bombers and bomb, like just send waves of like death bombers out at an enemy. But in AI hands, they don't really do that. They don't work to its fullest capacity in the way that it would for a, for the player. So some ships that are really good in player hands are just not as good in AI hands. This is how I would like to build a the Xenorphica, but I have no idea if this is gonna work. This is like oh, I don't have other heavy blasters? Bummer, dude. Alright, well, what if I just phase lance it instead? This is like just extreme amounts of burst damage. This is like honestly just a stupid amount of burst damage here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector, which originally aired live on Twitch August 28th. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my countdown timers to upcoming streams, as well as my stream schedule, links to Twitch and Discord where you can sign up for announcements. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell.